I used to believe that procrastination was just like part of my identity, when really it's just a symptom of a deeper issue. That was cool. So good. So good. I love the foam on top from shaking the espresso. It's just really fun. We're gonna get nice and comfy here. I hope y'all are doing really good today. It is a sunny day for us here, but the clouds are kind of spotty and starting to move in here and there. So sorry if the lighting keeps changing. Today I made a brown sugar shaken espresso latte. My go-to coffee is either this or a caramel latte. I've not mastered the caramel macchiato. I also don't know what the difference between a caramel macchiato and a caramel latte is, but we're not going to talk about that. And I've also got it over ice. I feel like becoming a YouTuber and trying to have more energy has made me realize how little energy I have. Let's get into today's video. So, do you guys struggle with procrastination? I find that procrastination is something that follows a feeling of overwhelm or anxiety, or both. You can have anxiety about being overwhelmed, you know? And I used to believe that procrastination was just like part of my identity. Like,
I'm just a procrastinator.
Almost like it was a character trait, you know, when really it's just a symptom of a deeper issue. You're feeling a certain way about something and it's causing your brain to focus on anything but that one thing that you're trying to accomplish, right? I've come to realize that if you procrastinate really bad, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because that's just who you are. It's not that you just don't have the willpower. It's literally because your brain is overwhelmed by the idea of doing something. And I think something that makes it a lot worse is when I overthink it. You would think that the more you thought about it and reasoned with yourself, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, it would take away the anxiety. A lot of times that's not the case. And then if you're procrastinating on something that maybe isn't vital, if it's not something you have to do, like your survival depends on it, you're probably just going to put it off so much that you just never end up doing it. So I want to give you guys a 3-step system to get out of this vicious cycle. So the first step is to self-reflect. Identify the reason you were procrastinating. So for example, I hate making phone calls. For some reason, the idea of making a phone call is one of the most anxiety-inducing things. I don't care if I'm making a call to my insurance company or to my mom. I just don't like making phone calls. I don't know. I'd much rather talk to somebody in person, go into whatever, the DMV or whatever, rather than call them, you know? Think about why you're procrastinating about this certain task. My anxiety around making phone calls probably has to go back to a deeper anxiety. Being a bother to people, feeling like I'm going to be rejected or failing at the task if they don't accept my phone call well or something. Or just the unknown, like you don't know how somebody's going to react. Maybe they're just having a bad day. It's this definitely an irrational fear. So the way that we're going to get over this is simply by thinking about it. You could turn it into a journaling prompt. You could just take a pen and paper and do a brain dump, which is actually a foreshadowing of my next step. But think about it and really dig deep. This is a really critical step because if you don't dig deeper, you're never going to figure out why you feel this way every time you do X, Y, Z, or every time you think about doing X, Y, and Z. You could have childhood trauma that comes up and it shows up in the weirdest little tiny ways. You could have just gone through an experience that really made an impression on you, and ever since then, your body just tells you, hey, we're never going to do this again because that was a really scary situation. Or you've never done this before, you're going to get hurt. So we're going to make sure that you don't do that and just flood you with this anxiety. If it does lead to some sort of childhood trauma, please seek counsel. Please seek a therapist. It makes a difference to get some counsel and to pray about it, to meditate on it, and try to heal from it. We'll come up a little bit out of that pit, but just know that it is okay to seek help. The second step is to make a list of what needs to be done. So this is something that's more geared toward if you're just overwhelmed by all of the things on your mind. You've got a really long to-do list. You've got a bunch of tasks that you've got to do, and it's just crippling and you can't even figure out what to do next. Just start listing off all the things that need to be done. All the things. Anything that comes to mind. Just write it down. The reason why you want to do this is it gives your mind the space and the clarity that it needs to process what you can actually get done and just to function in general. Picture the most cluttered drawer or bin in your house. Okay, if you put one more thing on that pile, you're not going to be able to close the drawer. You're not going to be able to find what you're looking for. There is no functionality there then. So what do? You declutter. You go through and pull everything out and organize it, and then put things away where they need to be or toss them. Similarly, you're going to do that with your thoughts. List out everything that you've got to do, and then go back with another sheet of paper and write down sections, or go back with 4 or 5 other pieces of paper. Like, I've got to do this week. I've got to do this today. I've got to do this year, and list all the things and go through that big long brain dump of a list. Organize your thoughts that way. This is why I love planning so much, because it keeps this overwhelm from happening. I still get overwhelmed sometimes, but not nearly to the point that I used to. Okay, here's my last step. It's really self-explanatory. It's really simple if you've done these other steps first. Do the hardest thing on your to-do list first. That one thing that's going to take the most time, that one thing that's going to take the most energy, or that you're just dreading the most, whatever it is, you have got to just do it. I know you don't want to hear that, because I don't want to hear that. But you've got to just do it. If you don't just do it, it's going to eat you alive. You're never going to gain the confidence, the peace of mind about doing that task until you've done it. And maybe you have to do it a couple of times if it's something recurring, but then you get into a groove and you're like, okay, this isn't so bad. I'm not going to die because
I made a phone call.
And after you've done it, you'll have such better peace of mind. Now, if it's something that is really big, maybe it's got several parts to it, like if you want to start a business, let's take that as an example. Okay, you've got to break it down into a bunch of different goals, and that is a whole other situation. When we're talking about procrastination, just in the sense of, I've got to do this task or these few tasks, just got to do it. You know what you have to do. You've made the list, you have done the brain dump through the fear, through the voice in your head telling you can't do it, through maybe the voices around you saying, oh, that's crazy. You know what you have to do. You can do it. You got this, mama. So go out there and do it.